Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Take out, of course, for checking out the newest episode of Loki this week. This is Season 1, Episode 5, Journey into Mystery. And that title makes a lot of sense because last week's episode, the Nexus event, had so many big moments, and especially the ending there where we're meeting the timekeepers of the TVA and realizing they're not real. And then apparently one of them, after getting attacked, says, "See you soon." And now the whole thing is, okay, who's really running the TVA? Who created the TVA? They're all variants. Like, you know, they weren't all created to run the TVA. They're all variants of actual people, blah, blah, blah. And then these timekeepers, they're robots. They're not even real. And then, of course, Kang is theorized to be running the TVA and everything like that. So Loki, our variant we've been following this whole time, gets pruned. And we've been under this assumption, if you get pruned, because Mobius got pruned a little bit earlier in the episode last week, that when you get pruned, you die. Well, our Loki wakes up to seeing other variants staring at him. And it came out, because it wasn't like right away, but it was an iconic shot, definitely for sure in last week's episode. But it is, here are the four variants that were there. Classic Loki, Richard E. Grant, which I recognized him. I'm like, I know who that is. But what's going on? And then it's, you know, these variants and everything. So Richard E. Grant as Classic Loki, Jack Veal as Kid Loki. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name correctly. I'm not going to be able to pronounce Boastful Loki, like the name. I'm just bad with names, so do not kill me. And Gator Loki. But there's the shot right there. It was a great way to end the episode, to reveal that you actually don't die when you get pruned. And then Sylvie ends, of course, with, I forget her name, but I had pulled it up last week, who was the judge for Loki's trial. And I think she's Kang's girlfriend in the comics, I think. So I think we're the tie-in there where Kang is probably in this show. Hopefully we'll see. Who knows? It might end up being another red herring again, but who knows? But I'm excited to see where we go from here, because I'm curious about what's going to happen next, because I never thought Loki would get pruned. Now we have, and turns out anybody who's been pruned apparently is going to be sent somewhere, maybe, or I'm guessing, I have no clue. But Sylvie wants answers, so maybe we'll get some more answers in this episode, and seeing these variants of Loki, which is pretty interesting. We'll see. Because there's a lot of people like talking about what else are we going to see? Who knows? So anyways, let's get into now, guys. Episode 5 of Loki, Season 1. The show has been awesome so far. Let's continue and see what this newest episode does. Let's go. About to say, okay, opening with this makes sense. Holy shit.
Who's really behind the TVA? I'm as in the dark as you are.
Bullshit.
Judge Renslayer.
Mm-hmm. Renslayer.
Reality's been destroyed. Because I want to know who's at the top of this. I want to know who lied to me. The dogma states that the end of time is still being written. The timekeepers are transforming it into utopia.
The timekeepers. It's bullshit. Captain Jack's ship? A UFO?
And now I'm surrounded by variants of myself, plus an alligator, which I'm heartbroken to report I didn't even find. Well, that's strange. And now we're running from God knows what.
I love
God knows
that.
where, but what I need to be doing is trying to find a way back to the TVA. Oh, there's no such thing as an alligator tag. Besides, it's a better metaphor. He's overly sensitive like the rest of us. You're telling me that thing's a Loki too? Oh, yes.
Yes.
What was your Nexus event, Your Majesty?
I killed Thor.
Whoa. Okay, that's an interesting way to cause a variant. He's like, Thanos' fucking helicopter? What? Was that Frog Thor? Oh my god.
Wait! What about the Void spacecraft? Yes, the prototype.
Void spacecraft?
Sooner or
See, I knew not to trust her. It's all bullshit. Wow.
After I vanquished Captain America and Iron Man, I claimed my prize. All
What?
Infinity Stones.
Okay.
That's alligator for growling. Till Thanos attacked our ship. So you didn't try to stab him? Certainly not. But take no offense, my friends. The blades are worthless in the face of a Loki sorcery. Because we, my friends, have but one part to play. The god of outcasts. Nothing more.
I don't believe that.
Have any of you met a woman variant of us? Sounds terrifying. Oh, she's
Terrifying.
That's kind of great.
It's terrifying.
She's different. And I could use all the help I could get.
And they're like, okay, Kim. Yeah, exactly. Holy crap.
Can you shut the door? We've still got a little bit of a situation here. By the way, you should be careful just jumping into a stranger's car.
I love how this is just so random, but Mobius, okay.
What to expect? Not for parking. I gave you our location.
Okay, I'm so confused. They're betraying each other. Oh! So the idea of Loki's being a certain way just gets amplified more and more because they're all just attacking each other now.
Need to get out of here.
Okay. My God, look at that. Oh.
Us as a child, us in the future, and us as
Alligator.
an alligator. What's your plan, man?
I think the person we're after is beyond the void at the end of time.
Yes.
And if they are,
Makes sense.
that thing is just their guard dog protecting the only way.
Oh, okay, this makes more sense. I'm like, what's about to happen here?
The people need to know the truth. No, the TVA needs stability. And until we can figure out what's going on, that killing the timekeepers. But they turned out to be fake in case you forgot.
In case you forgot that information.
Whoever created this place is in danger. I need to find them.
Yeah.
Okay. Right away, ma'am.
He's green, isn't he? He could be lying. The long con. Of course, that just makes him more likely to be a Loki. It's always the game within the game.
It's always a game.
He cares about you.
Yeah. He cares more about that jet ski, though. He wants that jet ski.
I don't mean that it wasn't, a nice moment.
No, it was great. It was really
It was a nice moment, but... Makes it a bigger blanket. That's a good question. He ain't gonna betray you, though. I don't know what those things are, but okay. It's a cool shot.
Loki, I don't even know if this is gonna work.
You go, I go. What will you do at the TVA? Burn it to the ground.
I like that.
For the spark.
Bro hug. Hug it out. I love it. There you go. Nice. Come and get me. Oh, shit. What? Holy shit. He recreated fucking Asgard, basically. Holy shit. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Okay, so is that that's after the void, right? I think. That's really cool. Oh, don't cut away. Don't cut away. Wow. I'm not sure where to begin with this episode, but this was so good. I guess we have to talk about the ending first, and then we'll backtrack a little bit. So, Loki, he enchanted. He finally figured it out. Along with the help with Sylvie, they both enchanted Alioth. Is that how you pronounce it? Alioth, that giant storm creature. That was so cool. I gotta look that up because I'm trying to think. Has that ever been in the comics? I'm not sure, but maybe it has some sort of ties to Kang. I don't know, but I'll look it up. But the thing is that they enchant Alioth and they open up this, what seems like a portal at the end there to what looks like maybe what is beyond the void and what is at the end of time still being written. I'm not really sure, but they're clearly heading towards it, and I hope we get some sort of answer. I think we will, because they just destroy the TVA, essentially. The whole idea of these 3 timekeepers, it's all bullshit. So hopefully we find out who truly is behind the TVA. And if it's not Kang, I'm not going to be disappointed, because I understand the theory of why we jump to it, because Kang is involved with time. It would make sense for Kang to create the TVA. But the thing is, the TVA seems that it was just created to help with timelines, but ultimately it seems like some of these variants could just be left alone and they wouldn't really be messing up the timeline too much. Now, others, I don't know, because, you know, we had Kid Loki who killed Thor, implying he killed Kid Thor. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Richard E. Grant as classic Loki, I think, was my favorite Loki, besides Alligator Loki. I think that was just, I don't know why I was just loving the fact that there is a Loki that is an alligator. And even Mobius, which Mobius showing up in a car that has pizza on the top of it, saving Sylvie from Alioth, was definitely like, okay. He's like, oh, all of a sudden, here's Mobius, he's driving the car. I'm like, who's driving the car? Where'd the car come from? What's going on here? It wasn't a jet ski, but I would have laughed so hard if he would have saved Sylvie. Like, she woke up on some sort of boat or something on a lake, and he shows up in a jet ski. I think that would have been perfect, but they're like, not yet. Hopefully he gets his jet ski next episode. But I like the moment where Mobius is sitting there with classic Loki and Kid Loki and going, is that even really a Loki? Talking about alligator Loki? It's like, well, yeah, he's green, isn't he? Like, yeah, well, I mean, maybe he's just lying this whole time and playing the long con, but then that would also mean that he's definitely a Loki. So it's just funny how they have to address that a little bit, because with our Loki, when he sees these variants, he's like, you know, honestly, seeing an alligator Loki isn't that surprising to me. Like, why isn't it surprising? I don't know, but it was funny, because I think the alligator Loki just adds some craziness to this episode. Because it would have been just Kid Loki, Boastful Loki, and Classic Loki, and no alligator Loki, I think the episode wouldn't have been as, I don't know, ridiculous as it is. I mean, it's ridiculous because we have a bunch more variants. One that looks exactly like our Loki, and then we have a bunch of other versions of Lokis that get into that bunker and they're all fighting each other and shit. I'm like, and it makes sense they address it. They address the fact that, you know, we all have these ideas and we all get into trouble and all this shit. It's like Lokis are tended to go down a certain path, blah, 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 blah. And so it's like we all end up doing this. It's unfortunate that we lost classic Loki, Richard E. Grant. It was great having him recreating as a mirage, essentially, to kind of trick Alioth with creating Asgard. It was so cool. Even though it wasn't actually real, it was just like how powerful, I can't talk, it's too early. It's 6 a.m. How powerful his Loki was. Because he did mention blades are kind of useless or whatever. Our magic is what... He was talking about magic, saying like our abilities outweigh blades. Like, he doesn't need them, you know? So I think that's interesting. So he definitely was probably the strongest Loki we've ever seen. We'll see about that. I mean, Sylvie can enchant, so... And then now our Loki can too. So he's learned a new ability. People were talking about this, and I didn't even think about it, and people were discussing it, but I didn't hear too much about it. But there's people that were trying to cancel, I guess, Loki last week, because we had this moment where we have Loki and Sylvie bonding, and there's like this moment that creates the Nexus event, and they can't explain it. and then like Loki falling in love with himself. Like, it's like I didn't even think of it that way, and it's like it's a TV show, you know. And with Loki, like the character, it makes sense for him to fall in love with the versions of himself. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know. They're not implying too much. I mean, they're hinting that maybe if everything still works out and Sylvie's still alive at the end of all this, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. So we have Mobius, who is now heading back to the TVA, and I don't know what his plans are. He says he's going to burn it down, but how is he going to burn it down? Because everyone just assumes that he's dead now. Because she even said, Renslayer said to those TVA guards or whatever, the soldiers, that, well, no, she's dead too. Because Sylvie pruned herself, knowing that there is a void. Now, obviously, Renslayer could have been lying. And Sylvie could have pruned herself not knowing that it actually killed her. But you just never know. Because, I mean, I just knew Renslayer was bullshitting. Renslayer's like, I want to find out who it is. Because maybe Renslayer doesn't actually know who's running the TVA. But maybe she's lying and bullshit and she's just trying to find out information. Or something else she's trying to find out when she talks to Miss Minutes. I'm not really sure. But ultimately, there's a lot of open-ended things and some unanswered questions that hopefully the finale next week, which is crazy to think the finale's next week of this show. But we're getting close. You know, this show has been a wild ride for sure. Some episodes have been better than others, but I felt like these past 2 episodes have been so good. Have been giving us so much great, you know, content and so many great moments that I can't wait to see how they end this. And them saying apparently there is a Loki season 2, and I'm curious how that's going to actually work. Because my assumption is the TVA is going to be brought down. But I don't know what the ramifications of that's going to be, because if the TVA is brought down and there's nothing to stop alternate timelines, maybe that's how the multiverse kind of goes haywire and creates Spider-Man No Way Home the way it is, and also makes Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because it's all tied in. So I'm curious how that's going to work, because maybe Loki Season 2 is to try to fix timelines. Maybe, because my assumption is the next week's episode, the TVA is completely destroyed. Or something happens to the TVA that cannot be undone, and that causes the multiverse and all that craziness. Because, you know, we saw all these variants of Loki, so every single thing out there pretty much has some sort of variant. So something's up. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that what they're going to do is with other versions of other characters we've known, like other versions of Loki, they're all going to be variants. I hope that Sylvie survives. Whatever happens, I hope she does, because I feel that they are setting Sylvie up to be Enchantress in the MCU. Now, watch it be a red herring and she ends up not surviving, and it turns out that there's someone else out there who's Enchantress. But I really hope, with what they've been doing with her character, they don't kill her. They easily could. Just the way they've been setting her up and the way that she's been, you know, handled in this show, I do believe they are setting us up either for her to become a main character moving forward, where we even maybe get an Enchantress type show or a Sylvie type show. I believe she'll become the Enchantress. Or she's destined to die and she was never meant to stick around because she's a variant. But I think that they're going to start introducing characters that are variants in the MCU they are not the original versions, they are variants of the original characters. So, but that's my reaction. What did you guys think of this episode of Loki? And I might have missed something, I apologize, but this episode had a lot of stuff going on, but good stuff. What did you guys think of this episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Check out my playlist of Loki reactions if you haven't already. Check out the past 4 episode reactions I have on the channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, help support the channel, and help support the video. Hope you guys are doing well today. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.